Have you ever wondered what it's like being a police officer and exactly what they do as a job, how stressful it is, and the things they've got to go through? Well, I've got one of those officers with me now, and he's going to tell us from the heart what it's like being a roads crime officer day to day. So, lovely to meet you, Rich.
Thank you.
You all right?
How you doing, Ben? You okay?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Rich has kindly taken a bit of time off because I know you're really busy.
Oh, I am, yeah, at the minute. Got a lot on, but I've got a few minutes to spare for yourself. Yeah.
Right, so just for the people out there, explain the difference between 24/7 police and road crime team.
So 24/7 is what I previously did, having now transitioned across to the road crime team. Our primary role now is tackling criminality on the roads, and the kind of higher end criminality, I would say. So it is a case of now coming in to work, and we are primarily intelligence led. So it might be a case of sitting down with colleagues at the start of a shift, and going through intelligence documents, looking through certain systems that obviously I can't go into too much detail about, and finding certain targets that we might, in that shift, then I kind of target, and work towards getting people or vehicles stopped. So that's the kind of, I say, the simple version of events. If you
Right.
like.
So in theory, you've got what we class as the old school traffic cop.
Yeah.
They're what you might see on stuff like motorway cops, traffic cops. I know it sounds stupid,
Yeah.
but they're the ones that are driving the marked police cars, sometimes unmarked police cars. They'll go out, they'll deal with RTCs, they'll deal with tickets, they'll deal with anything to keep the road safe.
Yeah.
You're the crime element then, aren't you? So I'm going to ring you up. I'm Inland Revenue, I'm Customs and Excise, I'm X, Y, and Z. We've got an intel that Billy Burglar is transporting £400,000 from Birmingham or so and so, and he's got 10 kilos of cocaine on his vehicle. That comes to you, you go through the intel and all that lot, you formulate a plan and you go out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's again kind of the crux of it, really. You got your 24/7 who are the jack of all trades, which is what I've previously done, but now we're much more specifically targeted in what we do.
Right.
And that intelligence, can be, say, come from within the police, or it could be from outside agencies who come to us and ask us for assistance
Right.
in dealing with certain issues.
Tell us one of the biggest things that impacts you being the person behind the uniform and what frustrates you about the job that you do.
It's the fact that we, I suppose, at times all get tarred with the same brush as police officers. We get accused regularly of stereotyping people in a negative way, but that's exactly what happens to us on a daily basis. I get stereotyped because of this uniform, I would say, every day when I'm at work, when I get in a police car. People just look at us and think we're all the same, and we're not. We're all individuals, individuals thinking and behaviours, and of course we're as unique as the next person. And we all have our different values, and it just annoys me when I say people. It happens in the media a lot. People are very quick to jump down the throat of the police, criticise the police, and primarily 99.99% of police officers upwards come to work with the best of intentions to do a good job, trying to help the public. Ultimately, that's what we've joined up for. Try and make society a better place, I'd say.
Over the last 19 years of being in Roads Policing Unit, I've had to seize millions of pounds with high performance or supercar vehicles, and that's because people don't do checks when they're buying them. That's why when you are buying a high performance vehicle, you need to get it checked on Car Vertical. This report is for a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. As you can see, put the registration number in and the report comes up. It's green and then it says yellow, damage. You would not want to spend £150,000 of your money and get a car like this. The front end's been completely taken off. It's someone's pride and joy, and it looks like it's had a fight with a JCB and come off worse. The best thing about Car Vertical, if you do a report and it comes back as negative, you will get credits to use next time. Use Car Vertical now, use Interceptor as your discount code and you will get 20% off, or use the links down below. All Car Vertical want you to do is get the correct cars to keep you and your family safe, so you're not driving around in something that's either been stolen, crashed, or an outstanding finance. Car Vertical sponsored this video, and I want to say thank you so much for all you do. People are going to watch this, and you know you're going to comment. You sat there and you're biting your lip and you're wanting to comment, and first thing you're going to put is bullied at school.
Yeah.
Get a real job, you know what I mean? X, Y, and Z. You join the police, like I joined the police. You put your application form in because you want to make a better world. You want the people can sit there and moan who have never had a job, who all they do is go out on a Friday night, get locked up, or the people who sell drugs, whatever. You want to make a better difference, and there's people that will hate the badge, but they don't realise there's someone that wants to make a difference behind that badge. You come to work every day, and what you want to do, you want to help. You want to create that better world, so when your kids grow up, they know mum, dad, X, Y, and Z has provided their worth, their contribution to society.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it is maybe a minority that criticise the police, but they're a loud minority, and that's the frustration. They seem to have the loudest voice of all. There's a lot of decent people out there who support us, support what we do. You know, my family are a prime example of that. I come from, you know, kind of what can only class a normal family, law-abiding family, and they needless to say support the police and what we do. That's not to say the police get it right all the time. Of course, you know, and lessons have been learned over time, but generally speaking, we are here to give it our best and for the people in society. You know, yes, it's my job. Yes, I get paid for it, but I also want to, within that job, achieve something. And that means, if that means, you know, making a difference to society, a positive difference at the end of the day, then that's my aim.
Take us through how the job then affects your private life.
Over the years, I've learned to adapt and keep the two separate as best as possible.
Until now, when you're on YouTube.
Well, that might be a little bit different now. I might be in for some grief.
Right.
But generally speaking, I try and keep work and private life very separate, and I've got kind of two hats in life. When I come to work, I put my uniform on. I'm PC Adams. When at the end of the day, I take the uniform off, hang it in my locker, go home, and I'm a dad. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I think for me, but again, me personally, I can kind of switch between the two. Whether that's a healthy way of living, I don't know. But there's always that little, again, when you're off duty, you're never really off duty.
Always got to have your eyes on.
Yeah, of course. And naturally, again, maybe because of the role we do, you can never quite switch off. I see things when I'm driving around in my own car, and I think, oh, if I was at work now, I'd deal with that.
God, yeah, and I remember those days.
Yeah, of course, there's that part of you, and of course there's that, and I don't have an issue with this, that responsibility to behave in a certain way off duty as well. I've got no problem with that. You know, that's how I should behave anyway. Truth be told, but of course, you know, you have to keep your nose clean when you're a police officer.
Yeah,
you know,
you do,
and rightly so.
And last but not least, mental health wise, you must see some horrendous things. Just give us some of the things so people out there can understand what you go through on a day-to-day basis.
And you know yourself better than anyone. It's very difficult to tell a person outside this arena or to explain to them and make them realise what we do and what we see. I don't, because, you know, I came from I say, inverted commas, a normal background, and I've now seen and done things that I never exposed to in my normal life prior to coming here. Never even imagined. And we see and deal with the unimaginable. Stuff that you'd never wish upon anyone. And I have my own ways of coping with that.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you do to cope?
One of the easy things is not bottling it up. And talking about stuff we deal with, and my way of doing that is primarily with colleagues. I'll talk about stuff with colleagues that happens at work, with people at work, people who understand. I don't like to burden my family with it. They don't know a lot about what I do. They don't know the majority of what I deal with. I don't think they'd like it if they knew either. I think it'd probably upset some of my family, truth be told. Again, whether that's the right thing or wrong thing, that's just my way of dealing with it. But you know, I have an awareness of my own mental health, which I think is important. It's important to have that awareness. If you don't have that awareness, you don't realise what's going on. And I'm acutely aware you've talked about these things before. And one of your videos was really interesting to me to listen to, and the analogy of the backpack.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of think along that way, and I think, is that what I'm doing? Now I'm dealing with things okay at the moment. You know, I'm still dealing with trauma and all the rest. And I'm going home, and I'm not dwelling on it. It's not affecting me outside of work, but I'm not arrogant enough to think that one day it might not all catch up with me. So I've got that acute awareness of it, and I would like to think when the time comes, if I need to, I will reach out for that help.
Brilliant.
But I say at the moment I'm all right, and I'm happy or certainly comfortable talking at work, and I think that's just offloading it even at work, talking to people with more experience than me. Just it helps. I think.
Yeah.
I think it helps you to carry it.
Can you just take us through first of all uniform, because all uniforms are going to be different, but first of all, why do you have 2 radios?
So we on the road crime team, the one radio we carry is what we use as what I call a back-to-back channel.
Yeah.
So it's a secure channel that only our team are on, so we can communicate quickly with one another. So if we're kind of, for example, if the force control room's busy and we can't get in on the air and implement tactics that we might need to do at the drop of a hat, we can at least communicate back to back.
Yeah.
We know where one another are at all times because we work in a tight-knit group, close together to be more effective. And then you might have your other radio on, like the local channel,
Yep.
for the area you're working, and then you'll have your in-car radio on the force channel.
Yep.
So that's where all your pursuits are run. So if a pursuit starts, so we go straight through that channel.
And you're also driving,
So
you're talking about tactics,
Yeah.
you're thinking about the job, and you've got 3 radio channels.
it's a lot happening.
You turn on 3 separate radio stations, sit and listen at 3 separate radio stations, ask for what song was played on this radio station 2 minutes ago, and start reciting alphabet, and that's how hard it is to go through what you're going through.
Yeah, it's
I've noticed you've got your gloves on there as well, so just give people a bit of an idea about this.
So we carry, all officers should have them, slash resistant gloves, leather slash resistant gloves. And there's numerous reasons why you might want them. They're not to keep your hands warm, believe it or not, because they don't. But so, for example, if I was quickly going to be deploying Stinger, when you're throwing a Stinger out, you're holding onto a nylon cord rope. If that Stinger gets dragged away from you by that car, if it gets tangled up, which happens, and that rope gets dragged away quickly, I've known it happen, you can have your hands sliced open.
Yeah.
So that's one reason. I'm a prime example of when I needed them and didn't have my gloves on. End of a pursuit, very dynamic, boxed the car in, got out at the end of pursuit and smashed the car window of the subject vehicle. Didn't have time to put my gloves on, just the nature of it. I ended up slicing through the tendon on my middle finger.
Right.
I ended up having an operation to have my tendon
That's
reconnected.
mine.
Yeah, very
It did
similar.
the same on my run it round glass window and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, so yeah, horrendous. How do you break windows?
There's numerous ways, but this little device here is just a simple window popper. I'm not going to do it on my hand as I've done previously because you know about it. Yeah, it's a daft thing to do. But basically, you just force that onto the window, and it's just a very sharp point inside, just pops out with force, and will just shatter a window.
Yeah.
Of course, even once the window's shattered, you've still got to get that window out of the frame, which you've got to be careful how you've done it. I tend to try and kick it now while my hamstring's still allowed, just to preserve my hands, because that's how basically I sliced my hand open before.
Right.
And
you've got your camera then, like I said, will link to the car, so when you get out of the car, you put your cameras in the car, you've got your in-car footage, and obviously it directly links to your Axon body-worn camera as well.
Yeah, so this camera now, everyone's got their own personalised body-worn camera at work, and that's this, again, I can activate it myself, just a double tap, loops back 30 seconds, captures everything that's been said or seen in the last 30 seconds. But also the in-car technology now will activate it via Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So the blue lights and sirens on the cars, the second you start those blue lights, your camera's rolling as well.
Right.
So it's already, if you're in the middle of an incident, you get out that car, it's already up and running.
Yeah.
And captures everything in the vehicle as well, because even that can be really important, post-incident. If you're looking back and for whatever reasons, and you need to see everything that happened or was said in that car, you've got it there as well.
Yeah.
So a brilliant bit of kit.
CS gas, or is it, what do you call
Parva,
right?
Parva, which is down here, tucked down
Yep.
here. So yeah, Parva advanced incapacitant. I got a face full of it off a colleague not long ago during trying to detain a gentleman from a car who wasn't playing ball, and it's rather unpleasant.
Just for the viewers out there, just tell them what it's like when you get sprayed with Parva.
So I got a good old proper face full of it, and my eyes, the footage, this was all on camera, and it was very funny afterwards, just seeing me go just down to one side, holding my face was on fire, I couldn't open my eyes, I've got snot pouring out my nose, I was a mess, to say the least.
So it's like, I've always said, it's like eating the hottest curry in the world, rubbing chili powder in your eyes, rubbing nettles on your face, not being able to breathe, and your nose runs at the same time. That is what it's like
It
when you
was
get powered, isn't
it
it?
was unbearable.
Right.
But yeah, but it burns.
Baton,
Yeah, carry baton, my extendable baton here.
are you right to walk that out?
Yeah,
Have a
of
quick
course.
look?
Yeah, not a problem. So again, glad to say, don't have to use it too often. But again, it serves multiple purposes. Primarily, can be used to strike someone in a violent situation. But the butt end of it is good for smashing windows as well. So in the heat of the moment, if you've got it out and you need to do a window with it, it can be useful in that respect.
So this is your new Stinger?
Yeah, so yeah, we've got a fleet of these relatively new. They are not quite as easy to carry around as the traditional Stingers, but for pre-planned jobs and the likes, they're brilliant. If we can get it in position, you know, and it helps to keep officers out of harm's way as well.
Yeah, no, it looks
because I haven't got to
fantastic.
stand at the side of the road and throw it.
Right, yeah. So rather than you have to stand there and not get a hard place to cover, because a lot of times you might be on a country road and there's nowhere for you to hide. You can get this at the side of the road, sneak off somewhere, start giggling in a bush, and then press your button.
Absolutely.
So are we all right to see it in action?
Yeah,
then?
okay, if you're ready.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
And she should retract, but she's going to have
them
to.
there, they are really big.
So yeah,
are they for trucks and stuff like that as well?
They probably would do the job. They're bigger than the traditional Stinger spikes.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
So very quickly after when we have used these, when cars have gone over them, instantly the tyres are in bits.
Yeah, and then literally you can do it, retract.
Yeah, so the idea is it's going to have to be recharged now just to retract it. So the idea is normally it would out, straight back in.
Yep.
About a 20-second recharge and it can go again.
Right, okay.
And they can go.
Right, that is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? You know what I mean?
2 seconds, sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
That is the future of what's going to be going on. And if you look...
Yes. Just confirm it's coming towards us.
2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Show me on the log then. Thank you. Forgive me, I've got to go to a job.
Right, no worries.
Okay, right.
Thank you so much.
Someone's going to come out and sort this in a second. I'll shout out, I'll get someone to come and sort this.
Right,
just don't touch that, and I'm going to crack on.
Enjoy. Drive safely, mate. Best of luck.
Mate, thank you. All right, look after yourself.
Well, obviously, you'll be able to hear me, but he's being sent to a job now. I think there's something coming in over the tops. So, yeah, best of luck, Mr. Adams, and keep driving, keep safe.
Yeah, it's clean.
And there he goes. There you go, day in the life of a road crime team officer. He's literally had to shoot off. I think there's a pursuit coming over M6 somewhere. Yeah, thank you so much, West Mids. Thank you to the road crime team. Thank you to 24/7 roads policing officers and Beat everywhere. You're doing a fantastic job. Tune in next time for some more videos and we'll see you then.